First up, let's remove all the extra stuff that makes it even more bulky to handle. There. I'm gonna mark this so that I know that this came from what is the right side of the diff. That's clearly visible. Let's remove the speed sensor here. Two very rusty 10s. Notice how there's no indentation here. That is to point the same way again, up and towards the diff cover. And if you look here, indentations everywhere, but here, up and towards the diff cover. Then we take this. There. Now it's clear enough. There. All right, now we should be able to remove the pumpkin. There it is. Now we simply need the pinion. Someone's actually been here before. If you look closely here, let me see if I can. Someone has made white marking here and there. Probably they just changed this front seal here. If you don't have the tools to measure preload, you can make your own markings and then just tighten this nut here until it matches this point of the pinion. Around a half Newton meter or so. I'll just run this by you, half Newton meter or so. I don't think that's enough, but it is used, so And now we need to press this out. Alright, so I managed to use a press and just press this out. Super easy, honestly, so I'm not going to show you how I did it, but I really just place this in a press and then press straight down on it. There, it's out. Now we can fish out this one right here. Sometimes you can use a normal 1/2 inch extension like this also. And then just kind of walk the line there. And here the shim for the pinion depth is, I'd say, 3.7 millimeters. Then we can go ahead and do the same for the lower one. Here, there's quite a long way down there, so I'm actually using this. This isn't perfect for the application, but it will do. There. Now the differential is actually ready to be cleaned and painted. Look at this mess. I'll just see if I can pry something underneath it there. I'll set this aside. There. That's that one. Good. Let's flip it over. Boom. Let's try and use air and see what happens. Now we're not actually going to take this thing apart. We're going to clean it. We're going to install new bearings on it, but that's the only thing we're going to do with this. And now we need to focus on this lower bearing here. Okay, so I've found something here that might be of use. I've used the original collar knot here, and then a 32 socket, which fits over the collar knot, and then we're simply just going to try and do the same. Now we only need this race here and this this seal here. Now you can actually place this seal too far in or too far out. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and measure just how far in it is. 34. Let's try again. 34. And then we can simply go ahead and remove it. This race here, we can't just place it like this and then hammer it out, as pretty soon we'd hit the table. What we're instead going to do is we're going to place this in a vise or something. There. And there you have it. The entire differential has been taken apart, at least to the point where we can change all the bearings and give it a good coat of paint. Everything's been cleaned. Some of the parts have been painted. Quite a few new bolts. All new bearings and seals. Okay, so all the parts have been cleaned. Everything that needed paint has been painted. And we're about ready to assemble it. First, we'll press in this bearing and this shim for the pinion depth here. Now I've taken a file and just removed all the burrs. Sometimes you even create some when you punch it all out. I made sure this is clean down here. So we'll drop that one there. The easiest would be to just take the old bearing Okay, I think I might have something to work with here. Now it seems like it's working. It's really important that it bottoms out. There. I think that'll do it. Let's find out. It does appear to be solidly in place. I'll be careful now, but you can actually hear if it's in place. It sounds like it. It's a very distinct type of sound it makes once it actually reaches the end position. Then we need to install the upper one. Everything's clean there. I'll grab some oil, some for the bearing here. Reuse the old bearing. We'll just be sure to clean it properly. And then this one is bevel 2. Let's see if we can use that. There, you heard that? It changed the pitch. There. Then we actually need to drop in this bearing here. BMW says to loop these bearings here. It's important for the pinion preload measurement. Now it's definitely lubed. Good. Now we need this seal here. There's a lip here, so you can't push it too far in. One thing though, this is where the old one was leaking. It had a bit of a rust issue down here. I've removed that with a file. But in order for us to be certain that no oil will pass between this seal and this surface here, we're gonna just coat this ever so slightly in some gasket maker. Then we'll coat it ever so slightly. Just the amount that you have left once you've run your finger across it a few times. And we need something to... It's ultra important that we install this completely level. If it gets crooked and we just hammer it in, it won't seal. Too big, too small. I think this will have to do. I'm not comfortable with that. Let's just try and walk the line. Okay, so I just verified that this shaft seal is in place using a small mirror. I can see that it's now contacting the surface down here, so that's good. Now we actually need to install this, and this as well should be lubed. We need to remember a new cross sleeve though, very important. Let's try and flip it over. Now, these are actually Koyo bearings that I've used, some of the best available. We need a minimum of 1.4 plus new shaft seal 0.2. We need a minimum of 1.6 Newton meters and a maximum of 2.8 Newton meters. And we'll have to be careful not to tighten it too much, but let's see what happens. This isn't really strong enough for the final part, I feel. You see, it's still tilting. There's quite a long way to go still. Not good. Let's see. Could maybe... I don't know whether or not this will actually work, but let's find out. So this is actually a very low-key solution. I made this tool for my 188K diff on my own E46. There, the holes here actually matched. This one has a bigger spacing between the holes, so I can't use the holes, but then I've just gone and placed one here, which then means I can just barely get to this one here and tighten it down, while this vise here holds it, at least for now. Let's see how it goes. We'll have to be careful not to tighten it too much, but see here, It still needs some. Now we need to start being extra careful. It's not the end of the world if you actually do over tighten the pinion. The crush sleeve can be reused. Let's hope I won't have to show you that trick. This is probably going to take a few tries. There's no play in it anymore. Whether or not it's tightened enough, we will find out. So we are aiming for 2 Newton meters plus minus. This is basically 0, okay? This is kind of a redneck way of doing it, but if it works, it ain't stupid. There. Gave it a little tuck. Still not enough. Let's give it there. Just gave it a very slight nudge again. Now I've actually always done this by hand, and this feels like we're getting there, but maybe not quite enough. Let's see. Nope, still not enough. Smidge more. Yeah, that small smidge there definitely made an improvement. Let's see if it's too much. Okay, this is perfect. This is 2 Newton meters. This is actually exactly 2 Newton meters. It could do with a little bit more without it being a problem, but being that the lower side is 1.4 and with a new seal 1.6, we're actually in a very good position here with 2 straight up. Good. That means we can go ahead and lock it as well. Like this. Boom. Let's focus on the output shafts now. This is the right one. I have painted it, cleaned it, removed these, painted them as well. Now we need to install this one here. We'll add loop. And then we need this one here. There. 34. Good. This side is now ready. Then we can focus on this side. This is now on. Sometimes a vise is a good thing to get it started with. That'll ensure it's going in straight, at least. This. Then we'll install this. We'll add this. Place that one there. Now this one is ready as well. There. There. cleaned and lubed. We'll grab this one, the vent hole here, up and towards the diff cover. So right around here we have the shim here as well. There, when past the rubber, we'll just use these two to control it a little better and drive it home with. There. Washer first, fully cleaned. Use the file to lay down any edges there might be. And then vent hole here. And look at that. It's turning. Good. All right, 22 Newton meters. 4, 6, 8. Install this one here. Whoops, like this. Oh, fuck. Oh, I squished my finger there. Oh, fuck, it just went in. There. I don't think I've ever done a repair on a car without hurting my fingers. At least at some point during the repair. Okay, time for the next side. There. All right. There. 1, 2, 8. There. Moves rather nicely. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see. I'll just grab a picture of it for you. It's pretty centered up and down, which honestly isn't the most important part. The most important part is that the pattern doesn't sit too far in or too far out on the tooth. So all is good, and we can continue with assembling the differential. That means it's time for the case cover. There. We can do the same with this one. Very, very thin. You don't want any excess material, gasket maker, going inside the differential. And then new bolts. And this is to be tightened 45 Newton meters. Being it's 8.8, it's only 45 Newton meters. Had they been 10.9s in tensile strength, it would have been different. But these, only 45 Newton meters, BMW says. Okay. Good. Then Finally, this one. $150 Newton meters. There. There it is. All new bearings, all new seals. Everything's been cleaned, painted. And there you have it.